Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Reconize podcast, the podcast that's created for content creators by content creators. And today we have a special guest, my boy Loop. I'm gonna give you a little backstory, like I always do, of how I know this brother, man. So I was working with this PC company, that's how we met each other. If you think about it, I was working with this PC company. They built a couple of PCs for me, and then they kind of linked me with this brother, and we've been cool ever since, man. This dude is a content creator. He plays COD. He's a male model. He works in the adult entertainment industry.
A lot of stuff.
Lot of stuff, man. He's a lot of accolades.
You gotta hustle.
Bro. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is my boy Loop, aka Loop2Win. My brother, welcome to the Reconize podcast.
Thank you for having me, man.
I appreciate you for coming through, bro.
Dude, I mean, I'm a big fan.
I'm a fan of yours too, bro. I'm a fan of you. You know, I watch your streams, and you're really like interesting. That's one of the biggest reasons why I wanted you on the podcast, because your story is super unique to content creation and just the gaming space in general.
It's been a journey. Yeah. I mean, to me, even like being here and I'm speaking a language that I'm not too familiar with, but you know, here we are.
Right.
Especially when I'm doing things like that I have to think about it. You know, I was born in Italy. You know, I spent the majority of my life in Italy. I moved to the US when I was 22. So it was tough, you know, because I left everything, you know, I sold everything. I was like, I'm out, you know, I didn't know anybody. I didn't know one word of English. You know, I was just like, I'm gonna send it, you know? And yeah, that was crazy. Like looking back now, almost 10 years later, I'm like, bro, what the hell did I do?
Right. I can only imagine that's interesting because it's like most people, maybe they choose a different city or a different state.
Also, when I first moved, I moved to New York.
Okay.
Because it was the closest city from Italy. You know, it's on that side, you know. And then New York was really cold, and I don't know, I didn't love it, you know, and I was doing things because I do music. I play drums. I played drums my whole life. And so my goal when I left, I was like, I want to play drums. I want to do all the things. I want to feed my inner child, right? Which is what everybody should do, honestly, you know. But it's, you know, sometimes it's hard because life happens and this and that, and you're afraid to disappoint people, you know. And I know my dad, to this day, is not happy with my decision, you know. But that's probably like the reason why I left, because I needed to do this for myself. I needed to like shape my own, you know, path, you know, without, you know, trying to make someone else's happy. You know, at the end of the day, it's your life, right? Yeah. So, I mean, I know it sucks that some people are going to get hurt, but I don't feel like you should feel selfish when you're trying to like fulfill yourself and your dreams. So I was like, you know what? I'm from a small town, Italy, you know, close to Bologna. Everyone know each other type of thing, you know. And I played music back then. We were touring, you know. I had a pretty decent music situation going, but I'm still a big nerd, so I always had gaming in the back of my mind. But when gaming wasn't cool, I don't know if you remember.
I do remember the time where gaming wasn't cool.
We were popping off, and nobody cared about it. You know, I'm like, maybe I won't tell nobody while I'm on tour that I'm actually, you know, a big fan of first-person shooters. But, you know, it's always been a thing of me, like, imagine if I could do this, you know. But back then, there was, like, fatality. I don't know if you remember, you know, like not many people were like doing gaming and actually, you know, making a living off of it. So we were like, okay, what's the plan B? What's the plan C type of thing? But music, it's always been my thing. And I honestly moved because I thought that I could do more with music and my passions in the US, you know, like call it the American dream. But I always grew up very much influenced from the US, the music, you know, the scene in general. And that's why I didn't speak English when I moved here, but I wanted to learn because I didn't want to sound like I don't, you know, respect where I'm at, you know, type of thing. Because I know people have been here for like 30 years, you know, and they still have like a really heavy accent, which I know I have an accent, but at least like it's not like you can understand, you know, like, so I really worked on my, you know, the phonetic, the sound and everything. And yeah, so here we are. I moved to LA because New York was hella cold and did a lot of music. I toured around with some interesting acts, and you probably know a couple of them because we're close in age. Yeah. But yeah, gaming, it's always been my love, you know, my first love.
I love that. And I want to get like basically starting at the beginning.
Yeah.
So you grew up in Italy.
Yeah.
What was that like coming from America to Italy? Because like you said, I know that in a traditional Italian family, you usually have a family business and your father wants you to go into the family business.
Absolutely.
So what was that like when you finally told your father, like, yo, I kind of want to do my own thing?
It was horrible.
I can imagine.
My dad was like, "You doing what?"
Right.
He couldn't believe it, And I was so like pumped that at that time I was like, I had so many emotions going through my mind because you never want to disappoint your parents,
Right.
So you're always like, I'm gonna go, but I'm gonna show that it was worth it, type of thing. And that's like on the back of my mind. It's always there, still to this day, But yes, you're exactly right. I had to. My dad wanted us to do a certain path, but again, it's like, which life am I living? My life
or your life
or my dad's life?
I understand.
So I had to I can't believe that I made that decision when I was 22. Because if I look back now, I'm like, bro, like, why?
Yeah, it's a big decision.
It is. And I miss my family, because I go home once a year, and I try to go at least once a year. But I miss them, It's nice to have family around, I think family is important, but I've been here by myself. You kind of get used to it. It was extremely hard to leave, with nothing. You go somewhere, you're nobody. Nobody knows you.
Yeah.
I had like $2,000, bro.
Right. So that's that type of belief in yourself. That's the thing. Is amazing.
That's the thing. And looking back now, I know some people are not going to believe in these type of things, but I started to believe in these things now that I look back on all the choices and the decisions I made. If you believe with all yourself that you're going to do something, you're going to make it happen. If you like, with every cell of your body, envision and believe that you're going to make it, you're going to freaking make it.
I agree with that wholeheartedly, dog.
And a lot of people don't. And I didn't either. When I I didn't even realize that I did that until recently. When I look back, I'm like, bro, I was so pumped. I didn't even consider not making it. And that's when like a lot of things start happening to you, right? Because when you're like in that vibration, when you're in that like train of thoughts, you're like in the positivity of all the good things are going to happen to you. You're going to get through everything, like it just happens, like things just, matter of fact, when I look back, I'm like, oh, I started like, cause I was doing like a little bit of modeling back in Italy we're talking, now I'm a little seasoned, but when I was younger, I was a handsome man back in the days. Okay. So I was doing like a little bit of modeling. I never cared for it. Cause I'm a nerd.
Right.
I don't care about that stuff, but it was just, it happened. It was easy. I worked for Dolce & Gabbana back in Italy. I did some stuff in Milan, and it was something that I was like, oh, maybe, like I have it, why not use it while I'm young?
Yeah.
So in New York, it kind of worked out. But, same thing. I was just thinking like, oh, this is going to happen. This is going to happen because there's no reason why it shouldn't.
Right.
And I feel like if more people would just understand that, you just got to get into that, like positivity and like, I don't know, like that
it's a specific mindset you have to be in.
It'll happen, bro.
Yeah.
It's just hard to commit to it.
It is.
But you're the living proof.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. You inspired me so much, especially this past year, bro. Like I've been watching your stuff. I mean, I've been messaging you.
Yeah, of course. We talk
throughout it.
Yeah, we talk.
Because I had no doubts in my mind that you were going to go through it. Like successfully.
I
no
appreciate
problem.
that.
And the fact that you actually did, I was like, yeah, I knew that since day one. I appreciate that.
It's funny, dog. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No,
it's funny because like not only you, but there are a few other people in the industry that have said exactly what you said. Mm-hmm. But like you're one of the few that like completely believed in it. And you told me like when I said I was gonna do it, you were like, yeah, that's gonna be successful for you. And that just goes to show you the type of mindset that you had, even coming from Italy, not knowing anybody,
right?
Going to New York, not knowing anybody, because the two cities that you chose are notoriously bigger cities for people that,
not easy.
If they don't know you, they gonna just walk right by you.
Yeah.
So I thank you, and I think that's dope. But also, just your own story is amazing to me. You know what I mean? Like being 22, coming to America with no money, no family, no support system, and making it work.
No English.
No English is amazing.
That was terrible. The first 6 months, I was struggling because I couldn't understand anything.
Right.
Like people were talking to me, and I felt bad because I couldn't come up with an answer that made sense.
Right.
Because I didn't have the vocabulary, and I understood like 10% of what people were telling me. Right.
Right.
So it's like, all right, I'm gonna try to do music. That way it's like a universal language.
Yeah.
You know, and the modeling, I don't have to talk to too many people.
Right.
So I was just trying to like, and then, you know, New York, I don't know if you've ever been, but there's like a big Italian community. So I started like to go into Italian restaurants, you know, and ask for, you know, a job or something. I mean, my first job was, I was a dishwasher in the Upper East Side, Manhattan.
Okay.
For $80 cash.
Okay.
I had my earbuds in the back, you know, because I was like, I'm going to go to the Italian restaurants, you know, like trying to help each other type of thing. I'm like, look, I'm new. I don't speak English. I'm trying to, you know, get familiar with the area, and I'm trying to learn English and things like that. And then, dude, I was a dishwasher. I laughed. There is no way. And bro, like, this is so funny because I was in this pizzeria and the pizza was bomb. I still remember the pizza. And dude, there's people like you gotta understand that I come from Italy. You know, food is huge for us. It was culture shock after culture shock.
I can imagine.
Like I go to my first restaurant in the United States, and I see people, you know, drinking cappuccino at 5 p.m. Like, bro, what? Like, with a salad,
right?
Like, what's happening? Like,
Right?
Are you okay?
Right.
Are you sick?
Right.
And then, you know, I landed this job as a dishwasher. I was so happy, right? And dude, I had no money, so people literally like order these like giant pizzas on this like wood board type of thing, and sometimes they wouldn't even touch it, and they'll bring it back for me to throw it in the trash, bro. I struggled throwing shit in the trash,
right? And
I was hungry, bro, and I had nothing. Like, you know what, I'm
about to take a piece of this pizza.
I did.
That's what I would have done, bro. I'm not finna be out here hungry when people throwing away food,
bomb, bro.
Right.
Like, show you're throwing this in the trash. They didn't even touch it.
Right.
You know, like I couldn't justify it, and I was hungry, so I was like, you know what, fuck all that.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, that was funny, man. And then the manager was like, "Bro, you're too good looking to wash dishes." You know, like, and then, you know, bus boy, you know, I started to like talk to people, and yeah, you know, like, I don't know if you want to hear this whole story, but you know, it just, you know, worked my way up to, you know, like the bartender, and you know, make a little more dough and speak English a little better.
I want to go back to one more thing about you know, growing up in Italy.
Yeah.
So in Italy, going to school, was being a musician like your first love, your first passion?
Absolutely.
So was their father okay with at least that part of what you were doing?
No.
So what was the actual family business type thing?
My dad had a shop selling pet food.
Okay.
So my dad he grew up as a farmer.
Okay.
So back when I was a kid, we had a farm, we had cows and everything. My dad, you know, milked the cows for milk and bring the milk. I used to go with him when I was like 5, 6 years old. And then he was like, nah, this is too much work. I've done it since I was 12 years old. My dad, I started working at 12 years old. You know?
Right.
And then we opened this pet shop, and he's done that for a long time. But now he's retired and everything. But no, he bro, like, I played so much music in my life, and I played so many shows, even like around town, dude, touring to Europe. I mean, we had like a pretty decent situation. My dad did not show up to one show.
Yeah, because he did not want you doing that at all.
Hell no.
You can tell, like, if your parents don't show up to one show, they really don't want you doing that.
I built a rehearsal with my drums in one of the rooms in my house, and I was to the point that I felt guilty playing drums when my dad was home.
Wow.
Because he would walk in and be like, "When are you gonna grow up?"
Wow.
Yeah.
So no support system from your.
No, dude.
What about your mother?
My mom was more of like, you know, do what makes you happy type of
Okay.
thing. You know, that's why I'm like super tight with my mom. I mean, I don't hate my dad.
No, I understand.
My dad went through what you know, what people go through life differently, you know.
Yeah.
So I never like blamed them for the way. That's all he knows, you know. So like, I mean, imagine you're a farmer on a freaking tractor at 12 years old. Like, if I'm telling you I want to be a drummer, I'd be like, what? You know.
Right.
So I get it, and I never blamed them for it. Actually, I mean, if anything, I'm gonna say thank you because.
Yeah.
You know, like, this path is the consequence of, you know, all the things that have happened. So I'll never, you know, hold a grudge or be mad at him. But it was rough. It was rough.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So that's probably one of the reasons why it pushed me like to the point that I'm like, I gotta leave.
You gotta make it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I totally understand that, because when you get that mindset, you get that idea in your mind that no matter what, I gotta make it happen.
Yeah.
Even if it upsets some people, not that you're trying to.
No.
But you got to do what you have to do for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So then at 23, was there a specific thing that happened that you said, you know what, I got to get out of here?
Yes.
Okay.
I was a banker.
Okay.
I graduated high school. I was 20 years old because I actually failed 1 year.
Okay.
Because I was playing drums in like 6 bands and I didn't care.
Right.
I graduated high school at 20. Right after graduating high school, one of the biggest banks in Italy asked me to work with them.
Okay.
And I was like, I mean, I don't know. Italy is weird. Like the economy, it's not that great. So if you get a job like that, you got to take it because it's so like people don't make much money in Italy, right? So a job at the bank, it's at least, a pretty secure spot, make a career and this and that. And my dad was so happy,
Yeah,
and
I can imagine.
like, man, like I said, you never want to disappoint your parents type of thing, So I was like, I was 20 years old. I'm like, I'm going to take it. So I said, yes, but suit and tie every day, dude. I did that for a year and a half. And, everybody in the family was so proud of me. I freaking hated it.
Of course.
I was looking at my coworkers, like 50 years old, like bald and like chubby. I'm like, bro, this is going to be me.
Yeah.
I was like, hell no.
Yeah.
I called HR one day. I thought about it for months. I was like, no, there's no way this is going to be me. I was playing music on the side, but I didn't want me to be my side gig.
Right.
So I was like, I don't know. I thought about it for months. And then one day I'm like, yo, I'm going to call HR. I didn't even tell my dad. I just called HR. I'm like, hey, can we have a meeting? And I finally told my dad, because I knew my mom, I mean, she wouldn't have been happy, but she would have understood. My dad was going to be the biggest problem. My dad would be the one that would, I got my first tattoo at 18. He didn't talk to me for a month.
Wow.
That's how my dad is.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Like old school
Super
Italian.
traditional.
Dude.
Yeah.
Pain, yes. Love him to death.
Yeah.
So I was like preparing my dad, like, okay, how am I going to tell him that? I know it's going to hurt. I know he's going to cry because he's a softie a little, but I got to tell him, So I did one day. I was like, look, I wasn't trying to put it down like it's going to be permanent. So that way, I was trying to like be a little.
Trying to be on the fence pretty much.
Yeah.
You were on the fence.
I'll be like, look, I'm going to do this. I want to go to the US. I want to, have this experience, and if it doesn't work out, I was trying to tell him a story. I can always come back, but I just want to give it a shot.
Right.
I'm going to have a visa for a couple of years. And he was devastated because I left the bank. But believe it or not, when I got the appointment with HR at the bank, one of the head of HR, it's a really big bank. So we're talking about like people like up in HR, they're like balling. They dedicated their life to the bank. They made so much money, like wealthy people. And then it's me, 21 years old. And I was like, not bro. It's like, sir, I am leaving.
Just like that.
Yeah. And he was like, why? And I told him the story. I'm like, look, I'm 21. I'm ambitious. Nothing wrong with this job. I understand that it's like, it's a solid career path, but I want to do music. I want to live abroad. I just want to go to the US and I want to do this and that. And he looked at me for like 2 minutes without saying a word. He looked at me. I remember, dude. It was so weird. We were in this room. We like a bunch of people too because they have to have like witnesses and stuff. He looked at me for 2 minutes and he finally said something. He said, I don't blame you.
Wow.
And then he said, good for you.
Even better.
And I was like, bro, because he said something like, I'm 60, whatever years old. If I had the balls when I was your age to do what you're doing now, I would have. Talking about HR of this like huge European big bank, right?
Right.
And he was like, just do it, bro. Like, go. Like, the time is now, know? And I was like, wow. Like, that was like, I felt like a little bit of relief, And I was like, okay, this is done. Now back to my dad.
Right. And to just imagine, how even much more relief you would have felt if that type of reaction would have came from your dad. You know what I mean?
I would have loved that.
Right.
It worked out. He's a little more, he's not happy. He still asks, we video call, here and there. And he'll still ask, so are you not tired yet? When are you going to come back?
Right.
Which, honestly, don't get me wrong. I'm not bashing the idea to go back. Ideally, I would love to live in both. Like having maybe like do the summers there, because my parents are getting older,
Yeah.
and now that I'm a little older, I value, family and things that, when you're younger, you're a little more like, I don't care. I hate everything,
Yeah.
But it was never me, but you know what I mean?
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. So now I'm like, when I go there, I have a good time, but I also know that I'm coming back here.
Right. Yeah.
So
100%.
You know what I mean? Like, family's great, but okay, like, I'm good now. I'm ready to go back to my joint.
I understand that. So then, moving from Italy and, getting even more deeply into what quote unquote the arts, because now you're dishwasher, bussing tables, but also you're doing your modeling.
Yeah.
Right. You were doing modeling.
Yeah.
So What was like? Did you ever have what they call the quote unquote big break as a model?
I mean, no, I don't think so, because looking back, I did a couple of cool things. You know, I walked for the Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week. You know,
Okay.
so like some good gigs. You know, but nothing really major. But also, I never really pursued it actively.
Okay.
You know, because I was
Okay.
never really into it. You know,
Yeah.
I never really cared for it. I was booking things, but I wasn't even really looking for it, because I got it with a couple of agencies, and they were booking me here and there. But I wasn't living that life. You know,
Right.
I wasn't like networking like you should. You know, when you're in a big city and things like that, because I never really cared. It's just like, oh, I can make a bunch of money with this for a little bit.
Yeah.
If it happens, I'll take it. If not, I'll just focus on what I want to do, which was, you know,
At that point, it was music.
music. Yeah. Yeah.
So then what are some of the bands that you played in when you were in New York? In New York specifically.
In New
What was
York.
it? Yeah, in New York.
Well, in New York, I played with one band called F Units. It was a punk rock band, and I actually got the gig through Craigslist, which I didn't even know what Craigslist
Right.
was, because we
Back
don't have
then.
it. We don't
Yeah.
have it in Europe.
Yeah.
But somebody told me, and I started to go to like, you know, like live music places and stuff. And yeah, I played with this band for a couple of years. We recorded an album, like pop punk, you know, like Green Day, Blink-182
Yeah.
type
Okay.
style.
Yeah.
And a couple of the songs got featured in some TV shows, you know, as soundtracks and stuff.
Okay.
So that was kind of cool,
That was dope.
because I was like, oh, I wrote that, you
Yeah.
know, with the music, with the
Yeah.
drums.
Yeah.
So that was cool. But yeah, then I did a lot of like studio tracking drums and things. And yeah, that was pretty much it. But dude, I was just like, I was playing music. Music is my love, right?
Yeah.
But I was a nerd. I was a big gamer. I built PCs my whole life, you know. So I always had that in the back of my mind. And I knew that I loved to do music, but I also like, I started to like get passionate about, you know, like when you record music and you go in the mixing room and there's like all the computer stuff and the compressor here. Like I started to get passionate about all these things. I was like, oh, I'm passionate about these things because I'm a nerd.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
I've been
Right.
like messing with computers my whole life, because I have an older brother that he got me into PC gaming when I was a kid. Dude, I played Call of Duty 2003, the first Call of Duty.
I was actually going to ask you. that.
Right, a mouse and key at 13 years old. You know,
Right.
that was my first Call of Duty. I mean, it was the first Call of Duty
Right.
on PC. So gaming was like huge for me, but I kind of like, I repressed it for a while because it wasn't cool.
Right.
And so I was like, oh, music is cool, gaming is not cool. You remember
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
years.
Back
you
in
know?
those days. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, oh yeah, I guess I won't do gaming because it's not cool, and I'm just gonna send music. And that was a mistake, because I realized how much I loved gaming. And only like the past 5 or 6 years, thanks to my partner, that she supports everything I do, which
That's
is
so good, bro. It's
incredible.
lovely.
Yeah.
That's lovely.
I was like, dude, I freaking love gaming, you know, like that. There's no way I can live my life without that, you know. And I'm a competitive person, so I like to, you know, like improve and get better and learn everything about something. You know, if there's something I don't know, you know, like the cameras and this and that, I'm just gonna freaking watch YouTube videos and learn, you know. So if there's a new game, I just wanna, if I'm passionate about the game, I'm just gonna put the hours in and freaking go crazy, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm so grateful that I stopped repressing the gaming side of me, because it's just so freaking awesome to have that, you know, and not feel guilty about it. Because back in the days, I don't know, there was almost like that guilt. I'm like, oh, I'm gaming too much, you know, like it's not good, because gaming, you're a loser if you game, you know, like,
yeah.
I mean, maybe not at that extent, but you know what I mean.
what you mean.
So,
Yeah, I know what you mean. Because this is a question that I like to ask everybody, usually when they first sit down,
yeah.
is can you picture a moment in time in your life when you decided like, oh, I really like the game? Was it a specific game, or was it a specific moment that you can?
I know exactly that moment. Call of Duty, the first Call of Duty. I was playing for fun, and then I realized that even if I was 14, 15, I was so competitive that I'm like, no. I'm going to join. I joined a clan, and we started playing, I don't know what you call it. Like they were called at the time like ESL, like tournaments for money.
Yeah.
And dude, I was up to like 2, 3 in the morning grinding strats for the search and destroy in the first Call of Duty. Like to the point that we knew that if we aimed at that corner of that cloud, standing like crouched next to this box, the nade will fall exactly in the window on the other side of the map. Like we're doing all this type of strats, bro. And I was like 14, 15.
Right.
And that's when I realized this is so freaking awesome.
Right.
I don't care what everybody said.
Yeah.
I freaking love this. And my friends knew. And I won a bunch of, local tournaments and stuff. And then that's why I'm sad that I put that aside, not that I'm sad I put it aside for music,
right?
But I'm sad I put it aside, period.
Yeah, I get you.
Because it was so huge
Yeah.
for me that I was like, I should have just embraced it, instead of like trying to look cool,
Right.
But, we always kind of try sometimes to just be like, hey, I just want to look
You
cool.
want to be, at that age, it's about acceptance,
Yeah.
And now at the ages that we are now, it's not even about acceptance. It's about what genuinely makes us happy.
1,000%.
Yeah.
Retweet.
Yeah, there you go. Retweet it. You heard him. You retweeted. So your first love was always Call of Duty.
Yes.
And then it's even more unique because usually people don't start off on PC. They usually start off on console, but you started on PC.
Well, we had a Sega. I don't know if you guys had it here in the US. Sega Mega Drive.
Well, explain that. I don't
It's like
recognize
a
it.
console where you put the
Well,
cartridge.
we call it Sega Genesis, so maybe it's the same thing.
I think
I
it's
have
a
to look it
different
up.
version or something.
I have to look it up. I have to look it up.
Mine was
Yeah.
called Mega Drive or something.
Sega Mega Drive.
I'm pretty sure.
So you put the cartridges in
Right.
the thing. So what was the first video game you can remember playing?
I can't. Okay. The first
That you can remember. It don't have to necessarily be the first game you played, but what's one of
Golden Axe.
one of the all-time best platform games in the entire gaming.
You know that game.
Of what? Golden Axe?
Golden Axe.
Bro, you had to do it with the blue, and then you could get on the back of the bird, and bro, what?
That game was so dope.
That was one of the best games, in my opinion, back when gaming started of all time, bro.
Facts.
Golden Axe 1, Golden Axe 2, bro.
You know it.
My boy, that's my game. That's my game right there.
Yes, sir.
So that's interesting.
Golden Axe.
Golden Axe is a great game, bro.
Yeah. Jurassic Park. Those are
Right, those
good
games.
ones. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, Golden Axe. I had a brother.
Yeah.
I mean, I still have a brother.
Right.
But we used to play together, so that had that co-op factor. Like you build memories on those.
Yeah.
Like moments when you bond with with your buddy and you play that game. And that game was we grinded that game.
I know that's right. So your brother is the one that kind of got you into PC gaming, you said, right?
Yeah. My brother's 5 years older, so
Okay.
it was always cooler than me. And yeah, we got our first PC.
What age?
Piece of crap.
What age? How old were you then?
I was like, I don't know, like 10,
Okay.
11.
Okay.
Yeah, it was on this big PC,
Oh,
the
of course.
big monitors.
Back in those days,
like,
yeah.
just awful resolution, like 32 megabytes of RAM,
Right,
like, yeah, 150 of the power of our phones.
Oh,
you know?
yeah. Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Greens with the screen would be green and all
Yep.
of that. You
Yeah.
play Oregon Trail back. Did you ever play Oregon Trail back in the day? You
You
might not know what that is since you were in Italy, but that was like one of those, like one of the first PC games. It's
On
called
the floppy
Oregon Trail.
disk?
Yeah, on the floppy disk.
Oh,
yeah.
dude, I played so many games on the floppy disk, dude. Oh, this is like
Hey,
a
hey, bro, we're aging ourselves too, by the way.
Yeah, okay. No, I do not remember floppy disk. I don't think I was alive at that time. I did not play Prince of Persia on the floppy disk.
Right. Yeah. That's funny though. That's funny.
Yeah, dude.
You're like at the heart of gaming. You're through and through an actual gamer.
Absolutely.
So did you start taking gaming more serious once you moved to LA?
Yes, because one, I had a little bit of money.
Right.
First time in my life.
Yeah.
Because PCs are expensive.
Yeah.
And I was like, what if I build a PC? I haven't built a PC in a long time. And my hardcore friends knew that I was a freaking hardcore FPS gamer because I won a bunch of stuff,
Right.
Back in Europe. I just, put that aside. But then, like I said, I got with my partner, I was like, what if I build a PC and like, get into gaming again? I would absolutely love that. And she was like, what are you waiting for?
Man.
So I did it. It was so like, I remember building my first, not my first, but like my PC here
Yeah.
for the first time. And that emotion, I really felt like I was feeding my inner child, like
Yes, sir.
big time, when I first booted it, like I put all the pieces together, I took a couple of videos because I wanted to remember that moment. And then I installed the current Call of Duty when I built that PC. I think it was it was Call of Duty World War II.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of my least favorite Call of Duty.
Really?
But
Yeah.
Bro, one of my least favorites.
I don't think it was that great.
Yeah.
But to me, because of that specific moment in life,
You'll
I put
always remember
so many hours in that thing because I was like, oh my God, this is dope.
Yeah. And that's what for Modern Warfare 2 for me. Because, you know, it's like the nostalgia.
Right.
Like, that's the one that I really like. Oh, I love this thing.
See, and it's sad because I repressed gaming in that period of my life and I missed out on all those games.
Yeah.
You know,
you would have had a blast, bro.
I know. I missed out on that scene and I'm really sad because I know that everybody talks about, you know, the
to this
moment
day
with the boys. I know.
To this day, bro.
I know.
Yeah. 2009, Modern Warfare 2, bro.
That's crazy.
Yeah, those days.
Yeah.
I mean, in COD, those days are never coming back.
Yeah.
Not just because the way the game is played now, but just
just
you
the passion.
Just the passion of it. And you know, now like in Call of Duty, you know, it's more about winning tournaments and all of that. Back then, I mean, yeah, that stuff was still going on, but it wasn't like as mainstream as it is today.
Right.
You know, like back then it's like you come home from school and you just get on a game and you would just lose hours.
Different purpose.
Back then it was different purpose. We weren't trying to get clout back then like how it is today. You know, we just wanted to play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And going for nukes back then, bro, it was just, the nostalgia is real, bro.
I know.
The nostalgia is real.
Like to this day, I still think like, man, I miss that. You know, like years that. Yeah,
I mean, you're in it now, so
I'm in it. I'm full in it.
You're fully in it now.
Absolutely.
So now you're playing video games, and when did you decide to make the step into like posting content?
Yeah. Well, so when I got back into, you know, the gaming and building PC and stuff, that's when like streaming was taking off. Yeah. I mean, you know, Ninja
more so, yeah, I know what you mean.
It was like becoming accepted and mainstream and stuff. So I mean, I wasn't picturing myself as a big time streamer, which I should have, because Definitely. It happens if you do.
Yeah, like you said earlier, if you believe it, it's gonna happen.
Exactly. But I was mostly like interested into like learning, you know, how to, because back in the days, because I remember watching those sniping compilations on YouTube that will take 10 minutes to load the video because the internet was crap.
Yeah.
But I used to watch those. So I was like, hey, I want to try to do something like that. So I think I still have on my YouTube like old like compilations that if I watch them now, they're like super cringe.
Right.
But it was me learning how to put the thing together, how to, you know, like use the software, piece the pieces together, you know, and with the music in the background. So I started to like put things out like that. My thumbnails were terrible. You know, I didn't know how to use any of that. You know, I didn't know how to use Photoshop. I didn't know how to use nothing.
Right.
But I was putting stuff out just for the sake of, you know, getting familiar and learn things. And I thought it was dope back then.
Yeah. No, yeah, back then. Like, what we were doing back then compared to what we're doing now is two totally different things.
It is. And it should be, you know, honestly. If you look back at your stuff from 10 years ago and you think that stuff, you know, was the best of the best.
Yeah, something's wrong.
Probably.
You should probably rethink the thing.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So before you actually started posting content about 10 years ago, were you like completely fluent in English at that time, or were you still learning?
Speaking.
No, you still weren't speaking.
No. No,
okay.
My content was just like frag clips. You
okay.
know? You know, I got 7-8 kills in a row with a sniper, iron sight running around. Cut it. Send it. Oh, there's no talking.
So you weren't talking back then.
Hell no. You didn't want to hear me talking back then, bro. Like, what? No, I chose the safe way. Yeah. I was too shy, bro.
Right.
Like, I know people think, you know, they look at me, they're like, you know, because I look a certain way.
Yeah.
But I'm shy, bro.
Right.
Yeah. That's why, you know, like, yeah, modeling is cool, but I'm having more fun on the other side of the camera.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I'm an introvert. I'm a big introvert.
Yeah. You know what's so strange, bro? Most of us, because people would look at me and think I'm actually an extrovert, but I'm actually an introvert too.
Yeah. And I embrace it.
Yeah. A lot of time introverts usually get along with each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I love that.
Yeah, I love that too.
Yeah,
because I've had some of my best relationships with people.
Yeah,
that we're kind of like at the same mindset. You know, it's like, you know, more to myself, more reserved. Even though it looks like I'm an extrovert, but I'd like to call myself an extroverted introvert, because if I'm comfortable, then I can
Right. Yeah. You feel comfortable.
Yeah.
You can like, show more of yourself. But at the same time, like I don't see nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Matter of fact, you should just embrace who you are, you know,
agree.
and just be proud of it, because there's no right or wrong. You're just yourself, and you're unique because there's nobody like you, you know?
I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
So when did you actually start feeling comfortable speaking to Americans?
Well, at that point when I built my actual PC, you know, I was here from already 2-3 years.
Okay.
Yeah. I think the first year was bad.
Right.
Right. But past the first year, then I was able to at least be like, people were understanding what I was saying. You know, it was more fulfilling for me too. It's like, oh, great. We were having a conversation. I'm not just saying yes or no. Right. Because it was bad. Because when I was modeling, I was getting interviewed too. And dude, and that stuff is on YouTube. To this day.
Oh, we gotta find this.
And
we're gonna find this.
Oh, hell no. I had long hair, bro. And I'm like, dude, this is so embarrassing. I was literally responding with like yes and no because I probably didn't even understand the question.
Saying, right? And it's funny, you see that like in shows where people that don't necessarily speak English, they ask them a question and they're like, yeah. That's kind of like how you were.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm very self-aware, especially now when I stream in English. Mm-hmm. But I have a lot of Italians coming into my chat, and I try to enunciate my words because I know that I'm not first language English, you know. Right. But I also want people to understand, even like people that are from Europe, people that are like worldwide, that they don't speak English as their first language. I try to like speak like clearly, you know, that way. I try to put myself into, you know, people that don't speak English their shoes. Yeah. You know, because I know how it is, man. Like, I know how frustrating it gets when English is not your first and you're looking at someone and speaking and talking to you.
And it's just noise coming out of their face.
It's terrible.
I can't imagine that. Like, if you were to sit here and try talking to me in Italian, I would know what you were saying.
I mean, that's fair because you don't even need to speak Italian.
Right.
Once you know English, you're good. Although not knowing English was great when I was trying to get girls when I first moved.
Yeah. Well, I mean, also being a handsome guy probably helped out a little bit too.
It is what it is. Yeah. But the accent was definitely working.
Oh yeah,
good.
Because you know what it is, Americans, bro. Like even me, like the accent that gets me going.
Yeah.
Bro, a nice looking woman with like an English accent, like a British accent.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Really?
God. Oh, bro, I love that accent. Some of my closest friends. Like my boy Clues, he you probably know Clues. You probably seen him in my chat. You played together. Yeah, bro, that's my boy. So like, you know, I just am enthralled and entranced by the British accent. I don't know what it is. Yeah, Americans just love accents
because it's different.
Yeah, it is different.
I mean, look, hear me out.
Right.
On the other hand, if you come with me,
I need to go to Italy with you, bro. I need to go, bro.
You're moving there, bro. Like,
I already know.
So don't do that.
I already know.
But no, I'm telling you, like, if I bring any of my American friends to Italy and I tell them, oh, he's from California,
it's over.
Game over.
It's over. Huh?
But like over.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that you can choose.
Hey, listen, my kids are grown now too. No, let me stop. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I'm telling you, that's not a full-time job if you decide to do that, bro. Because it's crazy how we like idolize Americans.
Right.
It's insane.
And around the world is you see that like Americans getting idolized, but also like here in America, like we idolize different cultures too.
Yeah, I guess the grass is always
the grass is always greener
on the other side,
type of thing. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I could just only also imagine your serious culture shock, like
insane. Small town to Times Square.
Small town to Times Square. Not only that, but not being able to speak English. And people could have, you know, really got over on you because you don't really know what was going on at that time.
No, dude. I was on the streets too. I probably went to the wrong places many times.
Right.
Risked my life without knowing.
Without even knowing it. But, you know, luckily everything, like you said, you knew it was going to work out.
Yeah.
And it worked out. So the one question that I want to ask before we get back into content, this is something that has always been on my mind. I never asked you, just because we're boys, but I've never asked you this. Adult entertainment.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Dude. The most random way you can ever imagine. One day, I got booked from my agency to do a photo shoot as a model
right
here in LA. And we're going back to 2016, 2017. I don't know, like a while ago.
Okay.
But they didn't tell me anything. It was kind of like a NDA type of thing. Like, this is the client, which had a X like name, whatever. Go to Burbank at the time, the day, whatever. I was like, all right, show up. I show up, and turns out it's a Vixen photo shoot. Right?
Okay.
And there's like a bunch of guys with the wardrobe that we're gonna do the fitting. We like the suit and tie. And it was for the Vixen Angel of the Year, which is kind of like the Playmate of the Year type of thing.
Okay.
And that year was Adriana Chechik.
Okay.
Yeah. Which I didn't know who she was.
Right. At that point in time.
Right. Because it was not really like my scene.
Your lane. Yeah.
I was never like that hardcore into it.
Right.
But I was like, oh, okay, cool. Whatever. I don't know who this person is, but
right.
Let's do it. Like, it was a big set. And we basically had to replicate the Material Girl from the Madonna music video. So we all had this suit and tie with like the same exact outfit as the music video. And and she was like the talent, in the middle with all, I'll show you a couple of pictures that I have. And then from there, I don't know why we started talking and we exchanged contacts because it turns out that she was into gaming.
Okay.
And we exchanged contacts and we became friends. We started, texting and one day, because we follow each other on Instagram, she was like, hey, I wanna see, I wanna get on Twitch. Also, I wanna do gaming and things like that. Can you help me? And I was like, yeah, why not? She wanted to build a PC and film it and all that stuff. I was like, sure. At that time, I had my camera, but I was like shooting more for myself type of thing, because I was like experimenting, like making a lot of mistakes because you have to make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
And so one day, I go there, we build a PC, we film it and stuff. And I brought my camera with me because I bring my camera pretty much
everywhere you go.
Everywhere I go, if I can. So I was like, hey, I brought my camera. If you want to take a couple pictures. And she was like, yeah, let's do it. So I took some pictures and I edited them a little bit. And I don't think they were the best pictures, but they were good.
Right.
And she was like, wow, I really like these pictures. And I was like, really? So she started posting the pictures, tagging me, and she had a big following. I mean, she still does, probably triple what she had back then.
Yeah.
So from there, all her friends were hitting me up to shoot, right? So I started shooting, different girls, and I started to I don't know how I got into this, but I mean, this is how I got into it.
Right.
But it just became a thing that I'm the guy that shoots, porn stars.
Right.
And yeah, me and Adriana, we literally started like a freaking production. We were shooting like crazy. Right. We were shooting multiple times a week, but photo, video, we were going crazy. She works so hard that I'm like, bro, respect.
Right.
Respect. Because people think oh, these girls don't have to do anything. Bro, let me tell you.
Right.
What I see is the real stuff. These girls are running multiple platforms at the same time. They have to have constantly so much content to put out, to make their fans happy. Obviously it's a business, you're the talent, you got to create content, but it's a lot of work, man.
Right.
I'm, like I said, chapeau, respect, because that's a lot. Right. That was my first time experiencing content like that,
Right.
And you gotta also, because of the level of content out there now, your content has to be a certain level,
right.
to stand out. So everything edited properly and things like that. So yeah, that's what got me into that industry. And I met some really cool people, I actually met some really good friends. There's an Italian male performer here in LA, and we became really tight, and I help him out shooting, his girls when he has shoots, It's actually close by here.
Okay.
And yeah, I just met so many people through that. I'm extremely grateful because, even if it wasn't the industry that I was, trying to get into, it just happened to be. And girls like to work with me because I'm not weird.
Right.
And I'm not trying
Which is very big.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to get with them type of thing, they feel very comfortable,
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we create this synergy that it works, and I'm not a weirdo, and it just worked out,
That's amazing.
So far.
It's so far. You're kind of like a vet in the industry now, so people know who you
I don't
are.
know about that, but
Yeah, people know who you are. And
again, this is the thing that I wasn't really looking for that type of, I like at this point I'm like, no, okay, it's fine. I'll take it. I'm grateful,
Yeah.
But call myself a vet. I don't know about that.
I'm gonna call you a vet because if you've been in something more than a couple years,
yeah, I guess
you're you're not a rookie,
right?
No,
you're
you're considered a veteran. I mean, you've seen so many people, you met so many people, done so many shoots.
Yeah,
you got a lot of shoots under your belt, so
for sure.
So how does your partner like you working in that?
Oh, she doesn't care.
She doesn't care.
No, she's like, whatever you gotta do. Matter of fact, she likes girls too, so she's like, oh yeah, she's hot. Oh, she's
nice.
Nah, she's super chill.
That's so good, man.
Dude, honestly, like I gotta say, me and my partner are best friends.
I love that.
Like we believe in love, and love is setting each other free.
I love that.
You have to be free.
I love
because
that.
the moment you feel like you can't be yourself because of your partner, something is not.
Something is off.
And this is the first time in my life where we're like best friends and we tell each other everything, and she's even like, look, I mean, if she's really hot and you feel like, you just like go for it kind of thing, like, because hey, we're young ones.
Yeah.
And she's like, you come back home to me, like I'm not tripping,
Right.
like it hasn't happened,
right?
But just the fact of like living like completely transparent and like, hey, like we'll go out, me and my partner would be like, oh, that girl's hot, and she's like, yeah, she's hot, and she'll go talk to her kind of thing,
right,
and I'm like,
right.
it's funny, it's fun,
Yeah.
We don't do like crazy stuff like people think,
right.
But it's just fun to feel like free to like, oh, that guy's hot. I'm the one saying, yeah, that guy's good looking,
right.
Like, why are people like so afraid to be like, oh, this girl is hot, or looking at this girl in front of my partner, like, really? Like at the end of the day, if you really love your partner, like, why do you have to like act like so like insecure or,
right. That level of honesty? I don't know if that's a cultural thing.
I think that's a consequence of a lot of bad situations that we both went through, and we're at the point now that we're like, like we know what doesn't work, so why don't we do
what works?
What works?
I did not know that about you, and I've known you for a little while, but I did not know that about you. That you guys are. You have that level of honesty and openness about you guys in your relationship.
Yeah, we're best friends. Dude, if I tell you that I've been with my partner with more than 5 years and we never had a fight, we never raised the voice on each other.
Congratulations.
No, but because we based it on, stay true to yourself,
right.
Don't tell yourself stories.
Right.
Like it's so hard to lie because you got to remember all the freaking lies you told everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's so stressful. Like
I love that for you.
Yeah.
Because I've yet to experience a situation where I feel like I can be my complete self, and I think that's not just me in general. I think that's just men and women in general.
Yeah.
And that's why I said, I don't know if that's a cultural thing because is she also Italian?
No, she's from California.
Oh, she's from California.
Yeah, she grew up in Florida, but she's from here. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Cali, LA. It's a little different, but
we're very like spiritual too.
Right. See, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
We went to the spiritual retreat
in
Barcelona.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that.
We do like we take care of our soul.
I love that.
Yeah.
I need to get some pointers from you, bro. Not that I want a woman that allows me to do anything, but just being able to be yourself, be open, be free.
You have to.
And, I feel like, finding a partner like that, but just even being that way with yourself.
Yeah.
And it goes back to what you said earlier when we were talking about, believing in yourself and doing what makes you happy.
It all starts from you.
Yeah.
It really does. No matter what you're trying to achieve, relationship, it all starts from you. Yeah. I never looked for her, it just happened when it was meant to happen,
Man, I hope the people are listening to what you're saying, because we find ourselves as men just chasing after just all these women and doing all these things.
You should never do that because you end up like settling for something that, might be good at the beginning because at the beginning everything is great. But then, when the reality comes out, it's just like, oh, I just forced it and I shouldn't have,
Right.
Yeah, I think.
Man, we didn't take this conversation a lot more deep than I wanted to, but I love it though.
My bad.
No, not my bad at all because this is your story and this is who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And I admire that. And I've already, we've talked, bro. I admire the things that you've been able to accomplish.
Dude, I'm a fan of yours.
I'm a fan of you, bro. I don't know if I would have had the heart to move to a new country with nobody, no family, no friends, no money, and just say, I'm gonna make it work.
Yeah.
Not only that, but can't even speak the native language.
No, that was
So
that was
that, and I know a lot about your story, but that just gives me like, a level of confidence of like, bro, if you can do it coming from nothing, like literally nothing, to being where you are and all the industries that you've been in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's amazing. Let's get to the gaming.
Yep.
Because you are a COD player.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I'm sweaty.
And you definitely are, because we've played COD together.
Yep.
Numerous times.
Yep.
PC player on a keyboard and mouse.
One of the few left.
Yeah, you're a dying breed, my brother.
Unfortunately.
It's so weird. A lot of times the keyboard and mouse players like, I gotta switch over to controller. But like me as a controller player, I'm like, man, if I could just learn how to play keyboard and mouse.
I would never, dude. I mean, you're cracked on controller. Stay on that bad boy, bro.
Man. But I haven't really been playing a lot of COD lately, just because I've been doing, as you see, I've been doing this. Yeah. But like, I just even when I was playing Warzone all the time, bro, I was like, man, I wish I could learn how to do the keyboard and mouse.
Dude, I don't know, man. Like if your main gig is Warzone, I don't see why you would want to switch from controller to mouse and keyboard. It makes no sense, especially right now. Like,
right? Yeah. I mean,
right now, the thing aims for yourself. Like you just don't have to do anything.
I don't know. I always felt like I just wanted that. Yeah, right. I know, right? y'all heard him. He said it, not me.
Typical mouse and keys.
Typical. Controller versus mouse and keyboard. Hey, because you are one of those guys, bro. You are one of those guys. The thing aims for you and.
Look, I tried controller for the first time, I think 2-3 months ago.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I wanted to learn because I wanted to understand the mechanic. Because it's easy to talk smack without trying, like the real deal. So I wanted to be able to, play both. So I gave it a fair try. I gave it like 2-3 months. I mean, at the beginning, I absolutely sucked. Imagine I never even picked up a controller before. I mean, maybe to play FIFA, but like. Not the same, not to aim, right?
Right, it's not the same.
And dude, at the beginning, it was just like all.
You're like how I was on mouse and keyboard,
bro. I was like, there is no way that people play this game on controller. I couldn't believe it.
Right.
And I'm watching people playing like, Biffle and all these people. I'm like, how do you do that on controller, brother? With your thumb, like that accurate, that fast? I just started it. I was terrible, obviously. I mean, come on. Who starts something and you're like good at it off the bat? Right. You got to go through being terrible for a long time before you're good, right? I mean, that's everything. So I did it for a few months, and then I started to like understand, like aim assist and like lining up the shots and stuff. And I was like, okay, I can understand now, like why people are saying that controller is overpowered.
Right.
I was literally like, I won so many fights that I should have not won, but I was blessed with aim assist and it's true. I mean, honestly, especially like the new Warzone, like it or not, the visual recoil is terrible.
Yeah.
On mouse and key, you got to deal with that. On controller, who cares about visual recoil? You're shooting and the thing is hitting no matter what.
See, guys like you make me so mad, bro. Get out of here. This interview's over. No, I'm just kidding.
No, but I do understand that the aim assist is crazy. I mean, it's great, but you got to master it too. It's not just a thing like, oh, I play on controller so I can be trash and kill people.
Right.
Because then you watch those people like, like I said, like Biffle, Booyah, or, these guys are absolutely cracked out of their mind.
Right.
You got to master it. You got to master the movement. You got to master, like a lot of other things than just, holding the controller. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like I tried and I don't know, man. I always go back to mouse and key.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's what you know.
Yeah.
You always go for what you know.
I get frustrated on controller.
Yeah.
I guess just
you're just one of those guys, bro. You just want to shit on us controller players.
No, I mean that's not. Unfortunately, it's more the times that doesn't happen. Because,
right.
But no, I have fun. I love it. Honestly, like Battle Royale, it's been like one of my biggest loves in gaming because I love the tacticality of it. Yeah. I love, I'm not a small map type of guy because I get bored.
Right.
I love the big map. I love rotating around. I love like strategizing, on the rotations and the gear that we should carry. I don't know. That's really what, I get passionate about it,
Yeah.
So I love that battle royale format.
Yeah, battle royale, it took off during the pandemic, and
It
then
did.
we haven't looked back since. But
Yeah.
like even me that always played multiplayer,
Yeah.
now it's like I can't even play multiplayer anymore.
Gets repetitive.
It does,
Yeah.
and then because I think the thing is with the battle royale is like it's gonna be a new game every single time.
Yes.
Even if you land in the same spot,
Yeah,
the
there's
RNG,
so many factors
the
that are
RNG
gonna
is going to
make
be
it-
so much different. Everything is
absolutely.
always going to be different when you go into multiplayer. It's literally the same thing, the
1000%.
same spawns. Once you learn how to spawn, bro, you can spawn trap,
Absolutely.
and it does get repetitive.
Yeah.
And I think honestly, just in general, and I know people are not going to like this, but I think Call of Duty is just getting stale.
It is.
It's just
It is
getting stale.
It
You
is
know what I
getting stale.
mean?
But also going back to what you just said, I think we got to a point in gaming where we game so much that we're spoiled into like we game for a purpose.
Yeah.
And I think that playing a battle royale that we've been playing for so long, it gives you like that purpose. Like, I want to win the game. I want to.
Yeah.
While multiplayer, if you play like just pubs multiplayers, I personally don't feel like I have a purpose unless I'm trying to get like the mastery cam or whatever. Just play to play. It gets boring fast.
Yeah,
Unless I'm playing like ranked or I'm playing for.
Right.
I feel like if you play for a purpose or you play a tournament, it's a whole different story, right?
Yeah.
That's why I think, like you said, like the battle royale has all these elements and the reward, the cookie at the end, the victory,
Yeah.
that's the purpose that we all like try to go for.
Yeah.
Makes it like so enjoyable because like, I want to win. I want to get the nuke. I want to,
Yeah,
I feel like putting a purpose in the thing, it's what made it so like popular and people got so passionate about it instead of like, because we were used to play multiplayer for like 6-7 hours, like nonstop but it was like, die, respawn. Oh, we won this. Well, we lost that. But we didn't even care if we won or lost the game. I mean, we did, but we were not as invested as the
what we
battle
are now.
for me at least.
Well,
I don't
I
know.
agree. You just, in all facets of everything that you do, you're just amazing, brother. I appreciate you. I appreciate the type of person you are through Call of Duty, through all the content that you created, being a friend. The biggest thing I think that you've ever done for me, bro, just checking on me when I was going through my battle with cancer, bro. You were one of the people, one of my industry friends, but you're actually a real friend, but one of the industry friends that constantly checked up on me, and I really appreciate that.
I told you I had no doubts in my mind.
Yeah, and I appreciate you, brother. I really do. So before we go, 'cause, I know you got to go and I got to go. I do got some messy type questions.
Okay.
That I have to ask you, and it's all based on COD because you're a COD creator.
Okay. I thought you were gonna go with the messy adult questions. But
Nah, I wouldn't put you in that position.
I don't care.
Unless you want to be. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just
hey,
pause.
we're here.
Pause. All right, so we can get to that. So first things first, Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm.
Out of all the CODs that you played, because I know you didn't start when I started because you suppressed all of that. Your top 5 CODs in order.
Okay. Are we talking about campaign or overall?
No, just overall.
Overall. People are gonna hate me for this.
That's why it's messy.
But I gotta say, I'm a sucker for good graphics.
Okay.
Because I appreciate when a game looks good. And when I first booted Modern Warfare 2019, I was like, wow. It was a genuine like, wow. Like the realistic gunfight, like so many details that I was very impressed. So I think that moved me the most. And I'm going to put that.
So Modern Warfare 2019 is number 1.
Yes.
What's number 2?
But also you have to consider that I didn't play in the sequence like y'all did, right? So
that's why I asked you out of the ones you play, because they're going to be different. You know what I mean? And you also started out on PC. So the graphics were different for you.
Absolutely.
So Modern Warfare 2019.
I'm going to put one that probably nobody ever did because they weren't probably even born. But the first Call of Duty for me was the reason why I got into gaming, like competitive.
Right.
So Call of Duty 2003 was the first Call of Duty.
The very first COD.
The very first COD.
Okay, yeah. So 2019 Call of Duty, basically it was called Call of Duty.
Call of Duty.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, I'm not saying that it's the best Call of Duty, but if I'm talking about like what it did to me as a person, like it's important for me to mention.
It's your list.
It's
your list.
OG Modern Warfare 2, I think that you have to mention
have to put
it
that in there. You have to.
I didn't put hours like y'all did because I wasn't into gaming back then, but I had to try it and I had to play it, and I played it like a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't get that nostalgic memory because I didn't have that bank of hours back then. But I was invested in the game. I think the game was freaking phenomenal overall. So I must mention that.
Right.
So Modern Warfare 2, the OG Modern Warfare 2 for sure.
Number 4.
Number 4. You know, I played the Ghost campaign.
Okay.
And I loved it, but I didn't play the multiplayer.
Okay.
Or maybe I'm mixing it up. I played that campaign. Ghost has the campaign.
Ghost has a campaign.
Yeah. I love that campaign for some reason.
Okay.
But that's when I wasn't into gaming and I wasn't like doing too much multiplayer.
Right.
But I do remember enjoying the Ghost campaign.
Okay. And then 5.
Yeah, 5, dude. I don't know, man. Like, is 5 like considered the worst, or we're talking about my
your
favorite 5?
favorite 5 of all.
My favorite 5. Honestly, okay. So I didn't like Vanguard. I didn't like Cold War. I think Cold War was too arcadey for my taste. I don't think it was bad. I would get bored. But I enjoyed playing zombies in Cold War. Although I'm a sucker for graphics, and I really like the campaign of the latest Call of Duty. So it's kind of tough for me, man. The latest COD multiplayer is good.
So Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
Right.
The
But honorable mentions.
Right.
Cold War Zombies was a vibe.
Okay.
I don't know if you played that.
I did.
Yeah. And World War II, you hated it. I put so many hours into that.
It's one of my least favorites.
I know. It was also very arcadey, with the movement, not very smooth, but I mean, it was smooth. It's just like, I don't know. I played a lot of that one.
Right.
So honorable mentions for sure.
I get that. So we got so your top 5: Call of Duty 2019.
Yes.
Then you had
Modern Warfare 2 OG.
but you put that at 3.
I put that at 3. Oh, the first Call of Duty.
Oh, so okay, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Call of Duty 2019.
Yes.
Call of Duty.
Yes.
Then you had Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah.
Then you
the
had
OG.
Ghosts,
For the campaign.
and then you had this new Call of Duty. That's 5.
Yeah, I think the campaign and the multiplayer was fun too on this Call of
Right.
Duty. I don't know. I enjoyed it overall.
Hey,
I mean, Warzone's chalk.
It's your list.
Yeah.
Nobody, y'all heard him. Is your list.
Yeah.
And then
nobody's gonna agree with it.
No. Yeah, you know how these lists go. People have their 1, 2, 3 because I ain't hear you say Black Ops nothing or nothing. So they gonna come for you in the comments.
Wait.
Nah, they gonna come for you in the comments.
Oh, pause. No. Scratch. I forgot about Black Ops 4. Hold on.
Okay.
Black Ops 4 had Blackout.
Yes, it did.
Oh, dude, no. Hell no. Hold on. I totally forgot about that. You know what? Scratch Ghost.
I agree with that.
Scratch Ghost.
That was another one of my least favorites.
Black Ops 4 was a fun multiplayer. Blackout was awesome.
Yeah, it was.
So
it was.
That goes second place.
There you go. All right, there you go. Okay,
Yeah.
there we go.
Sorry,
Okay,
I redeemed myself.
So there you did redeem
totally
yourself a little
forgot.
bit.
I don't know why I forgot about Black Ops. What happened?
I don't
put
know.
so many hours in Blackout, dude. I used to watch Huskers playing Blackout with 40 viewers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Out of all the content creation spaces that you're in, what is your favorite thing? Like, if you could only do one of those things for the rest of your life, what would it be?
I think that would be, I'm thinking about streaming music.
Okay. So you cheated.
While gaming.
so you cheated. I get it. So that you just love everything.
I do.
You just love everything.
I mean, music is my love, right? But gaming is so fun, and I love streaming. Like, honestly, I love building the community. I love creating a place where people can come to and vibe. I mean, it's so awesome to have people to come by and just vibe after a day of work, you know, and just just being goofy and entertain them and, or get sweaty. I don't know. I find it so fulfilling. If I can provide, I want to become a provider. I want to provide value. I want to provide, like content, right? Like music, or I don't know. I don't know about photography, but I have knowledge. So if there's anything that I can provide to people that, can help to better their life, that's what I want to be.
I love that.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that. All right, my brother, I thank you.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you so much for coming through and
it was an honor.
I appreciate you, my brother.
Absolutely.
Thank you for coming and hanging out with us, man. All right, guys, that has been the Loop2Win Game Reconize Game podcast episode. If you guys haven't already done so, please hit that subscribe button. Make sure you turn on those post notifications so you can be up to date with every single video that we drop here. Thank you guys for watching. I have been your host, T Clean, and we'll see you in the next one.